yowling like he'd been mortally wounded, and pounding at the door of the cage with his paws. He was relentless with his theatrics, and apparently knew how to push me to my limits, because after the first hour that he'd been with me, I'd given in and opened the door so he could roam free. We had an agreement, Milo and me. I'd let him out if he promised to behave. And he promised to behave, at least when I was looking. I walked over to the wall of cages to check on the other, more pliable residents. At the moment, Pose had only 3 cats, counting Milo. There was Pansy, a flat-faced gray kitty with green eyes who loved ear scratches so much that they sent her into orbit, and the aptly named Fluffy, who might or might not have some Maine Coon in him, judging by the luxuriousness of his coat and his size. I checked their water and food bowls, made a mental note to brush Fluffy's coat soon so he'd look his best, and glanced at my watch. 8 o'clock, I announced to my furry friends. Let's do this. I hurried, unable to contain my excitement, to the front door and flipped over the sign in the window from closed to open. We are officially open for business. My heart overflowed. This was a moment that I dreamed about for basically my entire life. It had finally happened, right here and right now. All the hard work, all the stress, all of the emotional battles had paid off. The shelter was open. Milo jumped up onto the window ledge to the left of the door and looked out. Seeing nothing of interest, he looked back at me and blinked, his tail swishing back and forth. His mouth opened in a soundless meow. It's only been a minute, I replied to the question that he hadn't needed to articulate. I chewed on my lower lip, hoping that all of my hard work hadn't been for naught. Milo blinked at me again, then turned away and began licking his paw. My heart leapt when I heard the crunch of gravel in the parking lot. There, you see? I told Milo triumphantly. I knew there would be people coming. I moved aside the thin curtain that was obscuring my view of the parking lot and saw a very familiar green Jeep. It wasn't someone looking for the perfect cat to adopt. It was my best friend, Ethan. We'd known each other since we were kids, and the friendship that our mothers shared had thrown us together so often that the formation of a lifelong friendship was just this side of inevitable. We shared a love of books that no one, not even my beloved twin brother, could seem to understand. And when Ethan had shown up at my house with the Chronicles of Narnia tucked under his arm, our unbreakable bond had been cemented. I'd thought I just might wither away and die when it came time for him to leave for college. But I had managed to survive, as did our friendship. Ethan exited the Jeep, pulled out a laptop bag, and loped up the 3 front steps to the porch. My heart jumped just a little. It always did that whenever I saw him. He was lean and tall, at least a head taller than me, with dark, wavy hair that continually flopped over in front of his warm hazel eyes. His smile was contagious, and more than once I wished that I had the guts to just reach over and brush those silky locks of hair out of his eyes. "Hey!" I greeted him when he opened the door. "Come on in. You're my first visitor." He slipped inside quickly, always on the lookout for cats underfoot, and quickly closed the door behind him. During the shelter's renovations, Milo, Pansy, and Fluffy had all lived with me. And we learned the hard way how much of an escape artist dear Milo could be. We'd spent almost 3 frantic hours searching for the adventurous tabby before finally discovering him curled up under my porch, where he'd apparently been all along.